Alright, what's going on, guys? It's the boy Fooly, and this is going to be my first video on Call of Duty Modern Warfare. This is also the first video of my channel, and I'm going to use it as like a first week's impression of the game so far, because this game has a lot of good to it, and, you know, not a lot, but it has some good qualities, but I think the main issue is like for every one or two good qualities, that this game has like three bad qualities, and they're all things that could be improved, but to start out at the launch, it's not necessarily the best idea. So I think my very first impression, like within the third day, was that this game felt like a 6 out of 10 to me. There was a lot of problems. I mean, the servers weren't working, and it had a lot of issues. But I think they did two patches, and the patches did help a lot of things. But right now, a week later, I'm sitting at like a 7.5 out of 10, and that's not bad. So I guess one of the first things I want to do is really just start out with some of the key elements that I think make this game okay, or make this game enjoyable. And I think to start out, probably one of the better qualities of the game, or better aspects of the game, is, I mean, it's kind of a given, it should be by default, but every year with every new Call of Duty that comes out, the graphics tend to get a little bit better than the year previous. I mean, if you're watching the gameplay, I mean, the game looks nice. I mean, everything looks smooth. I mean, besides the movement, but we'll get into that. But the game looks really good, and some of the maps could be a little bit more vibrant. I think some of these are a little dull, but so far, I mean, the maps look nice. That doesn't necessarily mean they're good, but the maps, they aesthetically look nice. Another good thing about the game is that there's crossplay now, and I think that's obviously it's trying a new thing that the developers did, but it's a really good idea. Everybody can really play with each other now. They play against each other. I think that was a genius move. It's about time they did that. But another one is the customization. Now, the customization is really good in this game. I think it's the best that we've ever had, honestly, in all of Call of Duty. The camos are really nice. I like a lot of the camos. The camo that you can see on the screen, this pink one, I don't remember exactly what part it's under, but it definitely looks pretty good. The hit registration in the game is pretty good too. I mean, you can kind of see when the bullets are hitting you at the exact time. There's really not that much lag to it. It kind of reminds me of a Ghost, if you guys remember that. Feels very similar. There's a couple of new game mechanics that were implemented. I feel like before, at one time, we did have this the lean mechanic, where you can kind of lean against the wall and peek the corners and stuff like that. But I like that you can mount now on like some surfaces. It's a nice feature that they're having with the gunplay, and honestly, the gunplay does feel very good. But honestly, I think that's kind of where this kind of ends. All the good qualities, really. We're gonna start talking about some of the bad stuff, or not necessarily the bad stuff, but some of the stuff that could be improved. And I might get a little bit more in detail, a little bit more vulgar, because some of this stuff is, honestly, it's pretty frustrating. But it's all stuff that could be improved, so we got to keep that in mind. For starters, I think the time to kill is pretty short in this game. Like I said before, it does feel like Ghost, but if you remember Ghost, the time to kill there was pretty garbo. So this game kind of imitates that, to be honest. I think the weapon balance could use a lot of tuning, but I mean, it's first week of the game, so that's kind of a given. Like I said, I know I mentioned this a little bit before, but the movement speed definitely needs an increase. I mean, your speed kind of increases a little bit if you use dead silence, which to me that doesn't really make sense, but it is what it is. But I think it could definitely use a little buff, not a lot like Black Ops 4. That game was way too fast, but this game just feels super clunky, super slow. Alright, but now I gotta stop sugarcoating some of this stuff, because quite honestly, there's a lot of stuff in this game that really doesn't make any sense, and there's a lot of terrible decisions that were made into making this. I'm going to start off with some of the maps. So I'd like to call these maps the mega maps, because they're fucking huge. I mean, they're literally massive. They're literally the biggest maps we've ever had in Call of Duty, and it kind of reminds me of the Stonehenge map from Ghost. There's a lot of references I'm going to be making to Ghost because this game just reminds me of that, but better. I like this game a lot better than I like Ghost. But in Ghost, there was a map called Stonehenge, and this game literally has like 4 or 5 Stonehenges just like as regular sized maps, and that's kind of crazy because I know before they finished the game during development that they were doing this thing, you know, no more 3-lane maps, which is what we've had in Call of Duty for since like Black Ops 1, and I have no idea why they got rid of it, because if it ain't broken, why the hell are you fixing it? Moving on to some of the maps themselves, I'm gonna be honest, these maps are hideous. They're pretty gross. They're disgusting, and not in a good way. This map I did pretty well in, but that doesn't take away from the fact that this map is horrible. And well, I mean, you saw that right there. I mean, the shotgun. We'll talk about that in just a second. But the maps are really, really, really ugly, and I don't really see that many people that are talking well about them. Maybe there's like 2 or 3 okay maps, but honestly, majority of the maps, they're horrible. There's way too many buildings, and there's like 30 windows per building. There's so many random lines of sight, and if you run out in the middle of the map, like we used to be able to, you'd literally get gunned from like 16 different directions and like 32 different dimensions. It's just so random and crazy. It just seems like there wasn't really that much organization on any of these maps. It's kind of like they told the designers, like, hey man, fuck it, do what you want, and this is what they came up with, I guess. Another major issue I see with the game so far is the sound. Oh geez, the sound is pretty bad. Not that it sounds bad, it's just very loud. This game, the footsteps is what I'm talking about. The footsteps are fucking loud. Sounds like you're a silverback gorilla running through the jungle, and you could literally hear it across the map. You could literally hear somebody spawn in from the other side of a building, and you could hear it. You could hear them walking. It's nothing that we've really encountered before. Nothing super loud. I think Advanced Warfare was a little loud, but this game is definitely the loudest, the most crammed, and etc. But yeah, if you were to run dead silence, at first, I think within like the first 4 days, it would literally not help you at all. You could still be heard running and walking and crouching, which is pretty fucking stupid in my opinion. But since then they fixed it. Dead silence is a lot better, but it's not even a perk, so you only have it every so often, which is pretty stupid in my opinion. But yeah, I know it sounds like I'm shitting on the game, but the game's not that bad, to be honest. Like I said, the gunplay is actually really good. The hit detection is really good, but there's a couple of guns in here that are pretty and then a couple little exploits and bugs that you can see right here. See, I'm just shooting through the wall because this guy's character was popping out of it, which, dumb shit like that. But the gun I'm talking about and the equipment I'm talking about is really just the Claymore and the goddamn shotgun, the 7.25. That thing just kills anything that moves in its direction, and honestly, it's so overpowered. But the gameplay is coming to an end soon, and I think what I'm going to talk about right now really quickly is just how to improve the game. Alright, so step 1, you got to get rid of the shotgun. I'm just kidding, don't get rid of it, but the shotgun and the Claymore are super OP. You got to really nerf those things bad. You got to add some smaller maps pretty soon, because right now the maps not looking too good. They're not doing too well. You don't necessarily have to add a 3-lane map, but make something a little bit smaller. Like Gunrunner is an okay map. Hackney Yard is alright, it's not bad. But you got to start doing that. Some of these choke points and angles, for example on Piccadilly, you could just see everything from everywhere. Yeah, you could block those out with like a little box, a crate, a barrel. Block a few of them, not all of them, but a couple of them. Increase the time to kill, and honestly just nerf a couple of the guns, buff a couple of them, and this game is going to be really good. Yeah, this game could be an easy 8 out of 10 with a couple of fixes that I think are going to go through pretty soon, to be honest. So I'm kind of excited to see how this game goes, because I've been enjoying it for the most part. It's just some of these maps are ass. But yeah, it's going to conclude my first video. Hope you guys liked it. For the future, probably going to be doing some live comms and some funny moments. And yeah, it's Fooly. See ya.